welcome back to another DRZ video, and next on the list, I did definitely have spraying it matte black down, but I kind of want to get the whole performance and handling the way I want it first before I start worrying about little things like cosmetic stuff. And I found a set of lowering links that weren't too expensive. Now, I'm about 6'2"-ish, and it's obviously a tall bike, it's a supermoto, that's what it's meant to be like. I'm not really using it off-road yet, but I would kind of like it just a little bit lower. It just feels, I kind of just feel like I want to be a touch lower with it. So I thought I'd give it a whirl. They weren't overly expensive. I think about 30 quid delivered, I think the links were. So they're going to be giving me a 40mm drop, and then I'm pretty sure 40mm I'll be able to get away with on dropping the forks through the yoke as well, just to keep the same kind of geometry down, but I'll show you that a bit in a minute. So yeah, so was that about 1 3/4 inches, just under 2 inches. So yeah, so that's going to be interesting. So that's what today's video is going to be about, is that. So stay tuned, and we'll see how it goes. Right then, so this is what the kit consists of, from projection components, I think it is. It's got some brushed stainless steel drop links, bag of spacers, and a complimentary bag of Haribo as well, which is particularly nice. I've already started winding into those little bad boys. So yeah, everything you need to really get fueled up and ready to go. So let's take these over to the bike. Have a little look. So the drop links down here underneath the shock. So that's our original dog bone, and that's the new one on it. So longer, so that effectively drops it lower. So yeah, I'm quite excited to get these on and see how it goes. So first thing I'm going to do is probably stick this on the stand, get the weight off the rear as well. Actually, I might slacken these bolts off first, get those loosened up, and then get the bike up ready to move these. Okay, so I've slackened off the two, well, I've slackened off, removed the two nuts off there and there. Once I've slackened them off, lifted it up so you can kind of move the swing arm, take a little bit of the strain off, and then the one dog bone's off. These bolts go all the way through, so probably have to just kind of do that, kind of turn and wiggle them out, get the other dog bone off that side, and then we'll be in a position to line up the new ones, and I can work out where the spacers need to go. It's probably worth pointing out as well, just in here sits a little spacer. Washer is kind of recessed in there, and that kind of bears against that face. So I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that these kind of make up, two of those is 8, so there's 2 for each side, make up the difference there. There's potentially one on that side as well, I reckon. I'm thinking I'll have a little look at that when I'm getting it all back together though. Right, so the first sort of part done, just loosely finger tight. I've just greased up anything that's going to be a move-in part, and it's in there, the bolts and stuff, just cleaned it all up and greased it. Got those ones on. So as you can see, I need to raise the rear, which the swing arm up, which will effectively be obviously lowering the bike to make up the distance there. So yeah, it's going to be camera down, so it might be a bit of a balancing act, trying to stop everything falling off the stand and smashing into the other bikes. Always easy when you're on your own. So there we go, all installed on the rear, so very easy, probably including turning the camera on and off and having a roll up, about 20 minutes just to get those in. One-handed, a little bit of a faff around really, because you know, you're sort of trying to manipulate the swing arm, and really I should have maybe strapped that down because the bike was rocking and rolling a bit. So yeah, just but very easily done and doable. Be a bit tougher without a stand, I would imagine. But on to the next stage of it, because I want to keep the kind of the bike as it was, but just lower. So I'm going to drop the fork tubes through the yokes, and I'm probably, with this lowering, I'm about at my limits how far I can get before we hit the handlebars. So it's just going to be just under the handlebars there. So it's pretty much at the closest point I could get. I guess if I was going to be doing things properly, I could strip out the internals and, you know, lower them properly on the inside. But as this is just a kind of let's see, and this is by no means a kind of show-winning kind of build type thing, race spec. It's literally just a little kind of mod for comfort that at the moment is sitting at the whole thing's going to sit at around half an hour probably to have done this mod. Obviously changing the fork internals gets a little bit more involved, so this is just a quick and easy way to see how the setup is, and very easily and quickly reversible should you not want it. So going to do those, torque everything back up to the correct specs. I've still just got to look those up, and we'll drop it off the stand and have a look. Okay, so the front end bit, nothing really too complex to it. On this particular bike I've got 2 pinch bolts on the top yoke, 2 pinch bolts on the bottom. Slacken all of those off on both sides, and then I'm keeping my fingers crossed I can just kind of manhandle the whole front end up through. That's so I can bring it up the amount I need to, so fingers crossed. That's actually give me a chance. I noticed when I was doing the ignition relocation that these bolts are in pretty dry, there's no copper slip on them, so I will take this opportunity as I torque them all back up to just pull each one out and just apply a little bit of lube. Okay, I've just been pushing down on the forks. I can see as well this one's not going to go quite where I want it to, because where the handguard bit clamps on is actually just over the top of the fork tube, so it's going to get in the way. So these are going to have to come off, but that doesn't matter, because depending on how long this video ends up being, they're going to be getting changed anyway for something else, and I'll explain why a bit later. So yeah, just take these bad boys off. Actually, before I do take them off, I might just show you and explain why I'm kind of changing these anyway. I hadn't really intended to. I want some sort of protection. It's in keeping with the style of the bike. These are fine, they're okay. They're a little bit small. I guess these are more like branch and kind of just light protection really. They're okay, they keep some of the wind chill off, not an awful lot. The other thing that slightly bothers me, not so much on this side, but this side I couldn't get the correct kind of, for where I want my bars and my controls. I've had to notch into there to allow the clutch cable, because otherwise it was bending up too much from an acute angle. Couldn't get it to go under, couldn't get it to go over the top. So that's been notched in. And the main one really as well, these ones bolt in on the side here, which kind of limits then what I can use for, I quite like bar end mirrors, I've just got used to them. Not overly keen on these clunky old things. They're not bad looking, they do what they need to, but I like to have flatter, cleaner bars, as you know, more like on the old Bonnie. So with basically, I've won some other hand grips off eBay for hardly any money at all, and hopefully they'll be coming tomorrow, and you'll see why when I show you how those mount up and the style of them, and why I'm hoping that they're going to be a better option for what I want. But yeah, enough drivel trouble, just got to get these off to get the forks raised up to the right point. Always keep the old furniture off the old brush guards. I mean, you've got these nice
nice clamps on a hinge, which could be very useful. Could even possibly use those to mount the GoPro in a slightly more secure manner without the wobble. And these as well, I'm going to keep these. These are by far my favouriteest ways of putting in like bar end mirrors or something. Good big bolt and these two things that draw against each other, and they just don't shift. So definitely hanging on to those little bad boys. But yeah, right, on to torquing everything up, and let's get it off the stand and I'll have a sit on it and see how it feels.
Oh, straight off the bat, it feels so much more natural and nice like this. So that's yeah, oh god, yeah, just the first sit on it doesn't seem like it's going to be a lot, 40mm, but it is quite a lot. But it feels bang on right. This feels, well, it still feels massively tall compared to say like the Bonneville, but this just feels a lot more planted, less lofty on it, which I know kind of slightly defeats the object, but I don't know, I quite like being a little bit closer to the ground. Yeah, I mean, feet now are flat on the ground rather than I'd have to scoot forward and kind of tippy toe before. So that's just kind of just nicer for me. And the other thing is, it was quite an acute lean over on the side stand before. It felt, yeah, quite extreme. Now for me, that is a nice, decent side stand position. Enough tilt for it to be safe, but it doesn't feel like it's leant right stupidly over. So yeah, I can't wait till tomorrow morning to go to work. I need to test this out though, really. So I'll turn off now, and then the next bit of the video should be the next handguard bit.
Just before I go in, I'll do a quick look at the stance now. So yeah, still looks like a Supermoto, but I just prefer that level a lot more. Yeah, lovely. Just feels a lot more stable for me. And hell, it was something to make a video out of, wasn't it? So just show you where I'm at on the riding position. Okay then, so it's now the following day, and sure enough the postie did deliver the new handguards, which is pretty good. Could have done with them on the ride home just to deflect a bit of the rain, because it's been absolutely chucking it down here today, so I got properly soaked. Yeah, prepare yourself, they're quite bright. They will be going matte black at some point, but for a couple of quid I was quite happy to buy a pair of second-hand bright orange ones, just to see me through. Not really worth doing an install video for them. It took longer to take them out of the box than it did to put them on the bike. So they're on, they're mounted, ready to go. I'll show you what they look like. There we go, look at those bad boys. Not going to miss those coming along the road, are you? But yeah, so they're what, a Stingray. So they're a lot wider than the stock ones were, but the main thing I like is just the ease of positioning and less faffing around here, all clamped in, which was well, primarily it was fouling the clutch cable, which I didn't like. So these, you can either mount them up or under. Up worked for me here. They fitted a treat around the brake reservoir there. Yeah, two-piece clamp, so don't have to take anything off to put them on, and then you can move them around 3 different points of position along there, deciding where you want them. But yeah, quite a good coverage. Possibly I'd maybe quite like something to come out a bit further. They are a tiny bit, are they smaller than I thought they'd be? No, they look about there. They looked smaller than I thought, but they're actually, when I see them on there, they look the same as when I googled them before I put a bid on. But as I say, for a couple of quid, you really can't argue. I mean, it could be that I could even, I mean, these stock ones are pretty chewed up, they're sort of cracked, and but I mean, I could always cut one down a little bit, add it onto there. I don't know, but I mean, really, it's only there just to add a little bit of take some of the wind chill off, because you know, certainly sort of January, February time, it gets a bit cold on the old fingers. So, but yeah, extremely bright orange at the moment. So they will be going matte black, as will the rest of the bike. Mind you, it's slowly getting that way, just through all the shit in the weather on there at the moment. Yeah, I got to say, so today was the first ride with it lowered, and I love it. It's excuse me. I love it. It's great. It just maybe it's because it just puts me into a more familiar position, but I did feel like I was towering high up, and I know that's the point of, you know, that type of bike. In fact, at work today, I did get flamed by a couple of motocross riders that are there for lowering my DRZ. They were like, "Nah, you want to be jacking it up. Shame on you." Yeah, there you go. This is it for me. It sits really nice. It's a great bike. Just to, do you know what? I'm really chuffed with it. It's perfect so far for the winter or the daily commute in all foul weather. I mean, it's pissing down with rain, but I loved riding today. That was brilliant. So yeah. So it's but definitely slammed down a little bit more. I enjoyed the ride more on that. That's probably about it for this vid. But what else can I show you what might be next on the project agenda. Well, I'm going to sort out some mirrors, I think. Possibly some bar end mirrors, but I'm in no real rush at the moment. I've either got to sort through my box bits and see if I've got any bar ends to just fill that off. No, those clamps aren't there, but definitely want to sort out the body work. I do want to go matte black with it. I've got to still start to get back in and readdress the decals here. So I started having an attempt at doing it, and then I realised probably heat gun and scraping and picking on a full tank of fuel is probably not the best idea. But that I want to change. But yeah, as you can see down here, my waterproofs, the one leg on there, just a slight bit of it has melted on my pipe. As you see, there was probably around here somewhere. There's a rather nice Yoshi kind of heat guard, but it's kind of cracked and bent and looked a little bit scummy. I think it's possibly been down, you know, on the floor or whatever. So I thought, well, I'll take that off and do something with it. I thought, for the time being, I won't bother, because whoever put it on, there was a mix of bolts on here, and that one was just like a mild steel bolt going into this stainless system, which is just pretty much rotted and welded itself in there. And so at some point I need to try and drill that out and either re-tap it. It's going to be pretty tough into that. But yeah, so I've just been running that sheared off when I was taking it off, so I'm like, in hindsight I would have just left the cracked heat guard on, but yeah, so I've got to do something with that to get to just stop me going through waterproof trousers at a massive rate. So yeah, I might try and fashion something up, not buy anything, but fashion something up for that. But otherwise, it's kind of pretty much it, but we'll see. So I'll keep riding it and seeing what goes on, and just really have fun with it as we go along. So yeah, take care, thanks for watching, see you next time. Apparently that's what my mate thinks of the bike's handguard. It needed tassels. That's better, bit more hardcore.